Hello everyone, this is Dr. Jawad. Hey, over the last couple of years, my YouTube channel has grown tremendously, and I can only appreciate it, the viewers who subscribe. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button to get the first up-to-date videos, or you could always Google my name, Dr. Jawad, and you could go to my JDoc Real Minute page. Again, if you hit the subscribe button, you'll get the most up-to-date videos, and thanks everybody who's watching. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Hello everyone, this is Dr. Jawad. In the short video, I'm going to answer a question that I get asked a lot, and that is, why aren't I sleeping? Now, my question to them is always, do you have a hard time falling asleep? Or do you fall asleep easily but have a hard time staying asleep? Because those are two different mechanisms altogether that I'm going to touch on. Now, just an FYI, no sleep is usually a symptom of something. Okay, and I'm just going to go over three symptoms that I run into a lot with my patients that are not sleeping. Now, the number one, cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone, okay? During the daytime, we need a lot of cortisol to get us through the day. It's part of the adrenaline response. It's part of our sympathetic system, the fight, flight, or freeze response. It's produced by small little thumb-sized glands that rest on top of the kidneys. Now, when cortisol elevates, what happens is that it is a sugar. So it does trigger your brain to wake up. Think about when you're alerted, when you're on high alert. Your brain awakens. Insulin has to be secreted out of the pancreas to shunt glycogen into the cell for energy. So it's a natural stimulant. What happens is that when we have increased cortisol, we don't get any sleep. Now, the normal sleep cycle should be as this. 7 a.m., I'm just using 7 a.m. as an example. We have high cortisol first thing in the morning. We have low melatonin. Now, I did another video about melatonin. Melatonin is our sleep hormone produced in the pineal gland. So it's high first thing in the morning, cortisol, and melatonin is low. So what happens as the day progresses, the melatonin increases. I'm just using this as a midnight. And the cortisol decreases. This is why you're able to sleep at night. This is why you get tired. Because melatonin should be high before bedtime, while cortisol should be low. And then as the night progresses, the melatonin is going to decrease, which is going to cause an inverse reaction for cortisol to increase. Okay, so I'm just going to put this as cortisol and melatonin. So again, melatonin should be high and cortisol should be low. But what happens is that sometimes, and I'm going to lead into the second example, blood sugar. Now, blood sugar, it fluctuates all day long. When it's low, it's an emergency. When it's high, it's an emergency. And what happens when blood sugar increases, especially in the stress response, cortisol, again, normally when blood sugar elevates, the pancreas is utilized to secrete insulin, again, to shunt the sugar into the cell, as it should be. Okay? But what happens when we have this 9/11 response, the adrenal kicks in. And that's cortisol. So the blood sugar increases and it wakes us up. So sometimes what happens is that in the middle of the night, the cortisol level skyrockets. I'm just going to use an example here. Let's just say 3 a.m. for an example. Okay? And this is why we wake up in the middle of the night. Because we have blood sugar issues, which will trump melatonin even more. Okay? So again, this could be blood sugar during the nighttime. Could be another reason why you're not staying asleep, because the increased cortisol levels. Now, again, this is a biggie. Stress. We have a lot of stressors in our life. It could be trauma, it could be death, it could be health related, it could be a divorce, it could be financial, it could be work. There's a lot of things that cause us stress. And this is why I ask my patients, do you have a hard time getting to sleep? Because if you have a hard time getting to sleep, most likely the problem is stress. If you have a hard time staying asleep, most likely the problem is blood sugar, which doubles over to cortisol. Now, for stress response, this is one thing I always recommend for the patients who can't have a hard time getting to sleep, and basically they can't shut their brain off, okay, is 3 tablets or capsules of calcium lactate and 1 tablet or capsule of L-tryptophan. This will help slow down the body, calm down the body. Take that before bedtime. Take that about a half an hour to an hour before bedtime. And usually this helps my patients that I recommend this to. Okay, so with all this going on, now again, here's a solution. One of the things I always recommend is meditation. Now, meditation is very hard to do if you're not used to it, and I always recommend just to start off 10 minutes in the morning, just sit by yourself, just kind of relax, okay, think about the day, and also 10 minutes at nighttime, usually like after work. You know, whether it be sitting in your car, sitting in your favorite chair, or even taking a walk. Something that you could do to help calm down the body. It will help dramatically. Also too, this leads into the blood sugar issues. Eliminate carbs. Eliminate the carbs before bedtime, because anytime you have a carbohydrate, you release the insulin from the pancreas. And this is where you get fluctuating blood sugar issues. So eliminate carbs, and if you need something before bedtime to help calm you down, a good amount of like fat, like in avocados, just for example. When you eat fat, you do not release insulin, okay? Eating fat will actually stimulate the hypothalamus gland to keep you satiated, so you're able to calm yourself down at night. Because remember, the brain is about 75% fat, so it's utilized more effectively. Stress, we're all stressed out, and you know, it's really, to be honest with you, there's no shame in talk therapy. Okay, talk therapy is very, very helpful. It's very, very beneficial. And talking to either somebody who has I always recommend talking to somebody who has a very non-biased opinion, like a stranger, like a therapist, or a priest, somebody who doesn't know you, who could give you really good sound advice if that's what you're looking for, or if you just need somebody to talk to, just to listen. Okay, so supplements I always recommend before bedtime. This always helps as well. Magnesium, chelated magnesium. This helps calm the brain as well. Anywhere from you want to start off at 400 milligrams to 500 milligrams before bedtime. Valerian root. Valerian root is an herb. I recommend starting with 2 pills. See how it takes you. See where it goes. And also too, essential oils. Essential oils are dynamic, and I always recommend either lavender or chamomile. It's an oil. Just either, you know, put some on your hand, put some on the back of your neck, you know, put some on your face, or else put some around the pillow, because that's going to help calm down the brain as well, so you can sleep better. All right, so again, sleeping problems, it's a big issue. It's hard to address. You have either cortisol, blood sugar, or stress levels. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Hello, this is Dr. Jawad. Please subscribe to my channel for more up-to-date videos, and thanks for watching.